Hi, in this video we'll be showing you how to send Christmas cards out to your customers. Now before we get started, we really need to decide what you want to send to your customers. We can choose between letters and emails, postcards, or gifts. If we're going to be sending a letter or an email, we need to start out by creating a template that's going to contain the letter that we send to the customers. To do that, we go to our Customer Info pull-down menu and choose Manage Word Processor Templates. At this point, we're going to go ahead and create a new template. And I'm just going to call this one Christmas 2010. Now when we create a template, the very first thing we need to decide is who are we sending the template to. Let me resize this so you can see everything. So we need to decide, are we sending this to the customer's main billing address or are we sending it to their locations? Because depending on which one we choose, we can go ahead and use the Insert menu to go ahead and put in information. Now, the information I like to put in is either this customer address block or the location address block. When we do that, it'll go ahead and put in the customer's full name, their address 1, address 2 if it's available, as well as city, state, and zip. You can also go ahead and use the salutation if you've bothered to enter that in here, so that's a worthwhile thing as well. So right now let's go ahead and set this up for a location. I'm going to choose the location address block, I'm going to go down a couple spaces, and I'm going to go ahead and insert the salutation. Now at this point I can go ahead and put in whatever holiday message I want. If you're happy with this, you can go ahead and do a save and exit. At this point though, I also want to go ahead and show you that you're not limited to just going ahead and putting in straight text. If you want, you could go ahead and put in like a company Christmas card instead. In this case, I'm actually going to go ahead and send a Christmas card to my customers via email. So I'm just going to delete that, come up here to our Insert Picture option. And when I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and choose this Christmas card that I made. And at this point I'm just going to go ahead and center it so we get it all on the page, and I'm just going to save it at this point because I don't really need to send anything other than that. And you can see that now it appears on my list of templates. Alright, so once we've got that done, then we need to go ahead and actually create the list of the customers we're going to mail this out to. So to do that, we're going to go to Customer Info, we're going to come down to Reports and choose Report Generation. From the report generation, we can go ahead and choose which customers should receive this. We can base this off of any of these tabs. We can choose customers that are just in a certain zip code range, in a certain zone range, those that have agreements versus those that don't, those that have particular types of equipment, those that have certain history. In this particular case, what I really want to do is I just want to send it out to all my customers. So rather than playing around with any of those settings, I'm just going to go ahead and choose OK, and that's going to select all my customers for me. This may take a moment if you do have a large database. Now at this point, this is where what we decide to send becomes a little more important. Again, right now I'm going to start off like we were sending that email that we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to use a word processor template. And now we've got a couple options here. We can actually mail merge using that template. And that would have been great if we went with my first example where we were putting in the customer's name and address. That way we can have it appear right in a windowed envelope. We can go ahead and send it out to them. It's a fantastic way to go. We can also go ahead and email using a template, which is the option that I'm going to select this time. And then we have a third option, which can be fantastic if you're really trying to do some good marketing, which can be, let's email all the customers that have an email address and we'll print the remaining ones. In this case, again, the customers that don't have an email address, I'm not too worried about for this one. I just want to go ahead and get out all the customers that do have an email address a Christmas card. So I'm going to choose that and select OK. Now when I do that, this allows me to choose the template that I want to send to the customer. In this case I'm going to select the Christmas 2010 one that we just created, and I can go ahead and assign it a document name here. This document name can be useful if we do want to attach this to the customer's location so we can see everything we've sent them in the past. In this case I do want to do that. Now once you've got this set, it's important to go ahead and preview it so you understand exactly what the customer is going to see. So let me do that now. So once a preview appears, you want to make sure that it looks the way you'd like. As long as it does, we can go ahead and close that, and then we would just click the send button, which would go ahead and send this out to all of our customers. At this point though, I'm going to go ahead and select cancel and show you some of the other options. Now we talked about being able to send postcards. If we want to do that, what we're going to do is select this print labels option. When we choose print labels, we basically come down here and click print, and then we can choose exactly which label type we want. We've got one default label type set up in ESC, but you can go ahead and click on configure labels here and set up your own label configuration if you need to. So we should be able to handle just about any kind of label sheets you want to buy. Once you've got that set up, go ahead and you click begin printing and you're ready to rock. You'll have a complete list of labels. You go ahead and simply put those on your postcards and send those out to your customers. Now the last scenario I want to cover is what if we want to send our customers gifts instead? Now when we want to send our customers gifts, there's a good chance we're probably not going to be sending it out to as many customers. We're going to be choosing a specific subset of customers. So when we do that, again, at this point I would come back to our main report generation screen and I'd get a little more selective in my criteria. Maybe I'm only doing it for customers that had a certain type of work done within the past year. So in that case I would just go ahead and choose a date service range, let's say from a year ago to today, with a certain history code. Let's say maybe just installation jobs. Go ahead and click OK. It would give me my subset of customers, and at that point I would choose Export Customer List to ASCII. When you do this, you go ahead and you choose Export. It'll actually bring up a screen allowing us to save this document. So I'm going to go ahead and just call this, let's call this Christmas list, or sorry, customer list. We go ahead and save that. This is creating a document that you can open up in Excel, and it'll have the customer's name, address, phone numbers, and email addresses in it. So at this point I could go ahead and turn around, give that file to a company like Edible Arrangements and say, hey, please send a fruit bouquet to all the customers on this list. They'll have everything they need to do to make that happen. They can even do a mail merge into Word, whatever program they're using, to go ahead and get that information out. So that pretty much wraps up our video today on sending out Christmas cards. I hope it helps you, and have a very happy holiday.